Wow, I didn't even press the start button, but here I am. So I would go down to the docks and I would hope that I would get picked in the morning so that I could work that day. And if I didn't get picked in the morning to work that day, I would go to the gym and I would go train for a fight that might not ever come up, or that definitely was coming up, that I definitely had to be ready for. And I had to make sure that I was there. I had to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do, because I was my coach, my first coach. I was the team. We, in boxing, won't always look at it this way, but it's not really an individual sport, because your team, your family, the folks who are supporting you matter more than anything. If you don't have a strong support system, you don't have a strong faith system, if you don't have a belief system, if you don't have some sort of balance, your foundation is shaky, it's not going to work. You're going to lose your footing. You're going to lose your balance. You're going to end up getting knocked out. Without unions, there wouldn't be vacation, paid time off. Without the work that is done to make sure people have the time that they need to go and cast their vote, whatever it is that you need time off to do, to go and serve on a jury, without the effort that we gotta push people to do what's right. Everyone, we're all in this together. Happy Labor Day. I see a world where people who got out of jail can leave it behind. I hear a world outside my windows that doesn't include sirens, just singing, no shots. It is harmonic. I can feel it, I can taste it, but I'm not drinking. It's so real to me, it's so sobering, because I received a letter that says I can serve on this jury next week, 2 weeks from now, and I can vote. I can get hired mostly anywhere, and I can live where I want. I got a text from the governor saying that he's approved my pardon. We're going to keep opening schools here in this state of Delaware. Tell Dr. Umar that. I'm going to have a conversation with him about that. We need expungements and exonerations that are automatic, education and persuasion on the front end, and prevention projects instead of sentencing projects, instead of exoneration projects, instead of innocence projects to prove that people are not guilty, because you should be innocent until proven guilty. Prevention projects. I'm pretty sure somebody already has that trademarked. My TWIC, which is Transportation Worker Identification Card, which expired this year, 2024, was only awarded to me through organizing. It was a multi-faith, multi-race effort. Rabbi Michael Beals wrote me a letter. This is all because I had forgery on my record. I had to get in contact with different convocations. Rabbi Bills wrote me a letter. My friend and brother in Christ, Charles Chuck Singleton from the Coalition to Dismantle the New Jim Crow, he wrote me a letter. This was also that I could drive cars and trucks and other automobiles on and off of ships, leaving from the Port of Wilmington and the Port of Philadelphia. You can take a TWIC card, which is a federal ID, to any dock across the nation. I could take it to California as long as it's not expired, and when it does expire, you just renew it. I just haven't renewed it. You see, I don't want to be a part of the war economy. I drove tanks and Hummers on the ships. I was a part of the war industrial complex. We got paid time and a half, military pay, to do this job, to do this work. We were also a part of ecological devastation. The war and all of the war machines, all the carbons that's emitted from all the emissions that are put out there from tanks and Hummers and ships and airplanes, that all comes into play. And when you're in an environmental justice community that's overly impacted because of the cumulative impact from industry, like Southbridge is, where the Port of Wilmington is, like Eastside is, we all have to breathe in that waste. We have to breathe in that work. We have to breathe in that profit. But who's really profiting? And who's really being poisoned? I'm not going to be a part of it anymore. Keep up the good fight. We're all remarkable. 2008. It would have been the first election that I could have voted in. When I came home, I joined a church that was very politically active, and I became civically engaged after I started to box, and my boxing coach got me to go to church after my uncle. Thank you, Coach Ron. After my uncle passed away. Coach Ron, he passed in 2018. My uncle passed in 2011, and they both rest in peace. I involved myself in abolishing slavery's last iteration, the new Jim Crow, mass incarceration, through decarceration, re-enfranchising people, creating community cohesion through voting rights, participation in democracy that's difficult to call ours when they don't allow us on the ballot in Delaware. They don't allow Cornel West on the ballot in Pennsylvania. You know, you can, they don't allow us even to vote when we're not even convicted of a crime. For 10 months, I was locked up waiting to go to court in 2008. I wasn't convicted yet. And when I went to court 10 months after, I came home. Should have been allowed to vote. My Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial was violated. But I've got jury duty coming up. And I'm grateful to have jury duty coming up. I've got to call them. But where Dr. King received his theology degree is where I was born. Chester, Pennsylvania. Crozier Theological is where he received his degree, and Crozier Hospital is where I was born. Solutions. let me say that again. Where Dr. King received his theology degree, that's probably why I believe in a God of justice and equality, solutions, and us being united about something of substance.